Welcome to Ask Matt, a weekly video series where we talk about entrepreneurship, business, marketing, basically everything your business needs to get ahead. I'm Matt Morochek, joined by Matt Lowe. Join us this week as we ask if you should use Facebook ads to find your first 10 customers. Everything you're about to see is unscripted, so let's roll the intro and get after it. Okay, rapid fire. I'm going to give you a scenario and you tell me what the problem is or where people can improve. You send out your ads, you get a lot of views but no clicks. What's wrong?
The ad content. You're not being concise and persuading the user to click it.
You get a lot of views, now you're getting a few clicks, but no revenue. What's wrong?
You most likely need more data. So you might need to increase your CTR rate to at least like 3 to 4%, and then you can start looking at the landing page to see, what could be improved there, or looking back at your audience segment to see is the right people going to the right page with the right content.
You're seeing sales now, but a lot of refunds, returns, chargebacks, and things like that.
False advertising. 1871 is pretty close by to us. Tons of new startups are starting out of there. Plus you have incubators like MHub and TechNexus. All of them are starting a company. They build a product. They create their landing page on Webflow or Squarespace, and then they are waiting for traffic. And then you see, hey, we're not getting enough traffic. So they start out with a marketing campaign. All right, PPC is one channel and SEO will be the other. So they'll blog and create ads. When they start creating ads, they run into this problem of the traffic is bouncing. What would you advise them to fix immediately? Or what would you ask them to do to see how they can improve those landing pages?
Well, especially in the startup world, you need to think about what are you sending them to and what are you hoping to accomplish from there? And maybe your expectations are what need to be fixed first. A lot of the times in the early startup world, people are trying to build an email list and they're trying to build beta users and so forth. So when they send them to the website and nothing happens, well, that's because you didn't really give them anything to do. Maybe the simple win is just to get an email subscribe, but then what's going to convince somebody to subscribe? Do you have supporting content that they find interesting, that they find value in? Because if not, if they can't already see it there, they're not just going to expect that you're going to somehow start doing it. You have to give people a captivating reason, whether that's sign up now because we're solving this intense problem, or we produce amazing content, don't miss out.
So say you're a startup and you have great content, your ad is matching exactly what's on the landing page, and you're still not getting sign-ups or conversions. What do you do?
I think then at that point, I would switch it, and instead of trying to send ads there, I would be jumping into communities and then start promoting my content there to start identifying who the audience is, because maybe if you do want to try paid or not, it's about trying to understand your targeting. Are you sending the right message to the right people? And that's probably a big reason why you're spending a lot of money and seeing no results, is because you're not talking to the right person. Knowing that people see Facebook ads, and if it's a video, they watch for less than 6 seconds with no volume. If it's an image, it's a chance for a quick scroll past. Is there any storytelling in ads?
Absolutely. For example, you might pose a question to a relatable problem in the ad. So you can form a story right when they click that, headline 1, headline 2, right when they read it and they click it. Well, then the landing page starts talking about that problem. Then it starts talking about who's trying to solve it but are failing to solve it. And then you can talk about your product. So you can have sort of a concise story around this sort of common problem that we all have.
One thing that I know I'm guilty of, or it's happened to me, and I know a lot of people it's happened to, you drop a ton of money into Facebook ads, you see the next morning that you got 100, 500 views and no sales. Mm-hmm. Your immediate reaction is like, I must be doing something wrong. I should turn these off. Is that what you're supposed to do, or what should you do?
Well, first, before you get page views, you see like 10,000 impressions. So once you get a comma in there with another, or anything over 5 figures, like you're impressed already that you got a lot of impressions. So you think something's working, and then you get a lot of clicks. So you think that's working too, and then you think, I don't get a lot of sales. So it must be something wrong with the page. Right? Because these things are working. People were impressed, they clicked it, and now they bounce from the page. So the immediate reaction that comes into mind for me when I was first doing this is fix the page. Maybe it's landing page optimization. No one ever thinks that maybe what you're advertising is a mismatch of the page, or maybe the price is too high, or maybe the assumption of what people were coming in was not correct. So those are usually the true problems. But yeah, like first thing that comes to mind is like, oh, everything must be working, but this should be an easy fix. I'm almost there.
You run ads to make money, and make money right away. Whether it's SaaS or e-commerce, why would either of those companies or those types of companies want Chipbot on their site when they're running paid ads to the landing page?
Mainly to figure out if the landing page is working or not. We mentioned a few indicators such as interactive widgets, or they actually went out, a failed onboard or abandoned onboard. Those indicators are a little bit late. Maybe a widget is pretty early. Like if you have a widget that, for example, like a mortgage calculator, if you have people entering that in, you might have some indication like, hey, this landing page is working. Chipbot allows any website to measure the success of a landing page just based on the interaction. Oftentimes, you go on a landing page, you're not going to address every customer's questions. So the first thing you want to do is like ask for help. So Chipbot allows you to see like, it opens up, people ask their question. You can capture that question. You can see what they're specifically asking. And unlike live chat, it's structured around purely off questions. No conversation, no lead, potential for lead generation. Your landing page is supposed to do the lead generation, not the bot. And it allows you to really get an insight of like, the users or the potential customers are asking this question. Maybe we need to structure a landing page to be around this problem instead of what we assumed what the problem was. How much money should a startup spend on ads?
It depends.
All right, so we'll say it's a B2C startup. They have 0 customers right now, so it's at the very early stages.
And product is ready to sell, on the way?
MVP is released.
Okay. Funded or not?
No funds. Total bootstrapped.
I would say hold off on ads until you find your first 10 to 20 customers and sell that in person, because you're going to get a lot of feedback right away that you're going to be able to understand who that is and what they care about. Where with an ad, the only data you're going to get is if they viewed it or not, if they clicked it or not. And that's going to tell you what's going wrong, but it's going to be harder to pinpoint and get feedback on what you need to change.
So is it safe to say the secret for ads for startups is don't use ads in the beginning?
Very much so.